Welcome into Legally Speaking with Lawyer Lisa, where we sit down with one of the only elder care attorneys in the Palmetto State, lawyer Lisa Hostetler Brown. She helps you plan ahead for your golden years, avoid issues, and maximize your options. Let's take a look at this week's conversation.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown, and this is Legally Speaking with Lawyer Lisa. So you may have heard about trusts, but what are trusts and why might you need one? Well, there's a lot of different kinds of trusts, and there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding trusts. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what you might need. So let's start with a revocable trust, also known as a revocable living trust, sometimes referred to as a family trust. This is a type of trust where you put your assets into the trust during your lifetime, and you manage it as trustee, for the most part, while you're alive. And then when you pass away, it becomes what we call irrevocable, which means whatever your wishes were when you passed away are kind of set in stone. And now it's just followed through whatever your wishes are by whoever you've named as your successor trustee. A trust is a great planning tool. This is something that you can use not only to distribute your assets when you pass away, while avoiding the complex and often complicated probate court process, but it's also great for managing your assets if you ever become incapacitated. So as you know, we all have a lot of people in our lives and probably have a loved one that's been diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's. People that have their assets set up in a trust have a great way to have somebody else step in with little effort to be able to take care of their business and financial matters. If you have a trust and it was properly funded, and that means having the assets tie into the trust, then it's a lot easier for whoever's stepping in to manage what those assets are and take care of paying bills, managing investments, whatever it is that needs to be done. So a trust is a great way to set yourself up for success in the event that that ever happens to you, where you need somebody else to step in and manage your assets. And it still has all the same benefits of passing it easily and effectively to whoever you name after you pass away. Now, an important point of a trust is to make sure, again, that it's funded. And funding it is an important aspect of having a trust. So I always tell people, if you got a trust and, for example, you have a home and your tax bill comes out and your tax bill has your name on it, it's probably not inside of your trust. It's not funded, which means it's still going to go through probate when you pass away. It defeats the purpose of having a trust. So making sure that your trust is always up to date with how your assets are set up is a really important point. So if you had a trust done a long time ago, it might be time to revisit it. Do a checkup on it. Make sure the assets are set up the way they need to be, and make sure your trust is still current for your current situation. This is not a stagnant document. This is not the kind of thing that you set aside and leave for 20 years and never think about it again. It's something that should reflect what your current wishes are. Because if and when you need it, at whatever point you might become incapacitated or pass away, it can no longer be changed. So you do want to make sure it's reflecting your current wishes. A trust is particularly useful if you have a complex family situation. If you want to keep your assets separate, maybe you and your spouse need separate trusts. Maybe you have a blended family. Maybe you have a special needs child or a child that needs special consideration. Maybe there's somebody that has an issue going on currently and you want to make sure that you've dealt with it. A trust is an excellent way to do this. If you're disinheriting somebody or have some other complex situation going on, a trust can do all this with the privacy so that nobody knows what was going on. Let's take the beloved Betty White as an example. When she passed away, she had a will and a trust set up. And her trust said where she wanted her stuff to go. Did you hear about Betty White's estate plan in the news? You certainly didn't, because she did it the right way. And you can set your assets up so that it's set up the right way for your family, so that you have privacy and you have ease of administration and everything goes as you'd like it to, and you don't end up being a cautionary tale. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown. This is Legally Speaking with Lawyer Lisa. Join us again next time.